Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Aaron. I'm a technician here at Z1 Motorsports, and today we're going to be working on a 350Z. This is an employee's vehicle, and the window is actually stuck down. And on this particular instance, the issue with this car is the motor is faulty. Tools required for this job: 3/8 ratchet, 3/8 extension, and a 10mm socket, flathead screwdriver, and a Phillips screwdriver. Tools recommended to make the job a little bit easier: we have a plastic pry tool, a clip removal tool, push pin removal tool, magnetic 10mm socket, and a cordless low torque impact. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the repair. So first step, turn the ignition off, pull the key out of the ignition. And now we're going to start removing the door panel. Lift up the door handle to remove the plastic trim piece. Now we need to remove the master window switch. It's best to use a plastic pry tool so we don't damage the door panel. Now we are going to remove the connectors on the window switch. These are kind of tricky, so it's best to use a plastic clip removal tool or a small flathead screwdriver. And after a little bit of wiggling, it'll come out. There is a 10mm screw behind the door handle. It's good to use a magnetic socket on these, as these screws can easily fall. There are 2 screws behind the window switch, and those are all the screws that hold the door panel on. Now you carefully want to pry up on the door panel. There are plastic clips that hold it in. Now at this point, you want to remove the connector for the window switch. Next, remove the cables for the door lock and door latch. And your door panel is free to come off. Make sure you put it in a safe place so it doesn't get damaged. Now it's time to remove the door glass. Remove these little covers that cover the access holes. If the window is in the correct spot, you will see bolts behind these. You may need to adjust the window. And like I stated previously, it's really helpful to use a magnetic 10mm socket. You don't want to drop any bolts. It might be a little difficult to get them out later on. Once those bolts are removed, carefully grab the glass and pull the back out first and then the front. Next, let's go ahead and remove the connector for the window motor itself. Use a little pry tool to get the connector out of the clip. Push a little grommet through. To get the window regulator mounting bracket off, you need to remove the black bolts. Once all the black bolts are removed, you can slightly pry on this to remove it. It does have a seal on it, so it might be a little tricky to get off. And there you go. At this point, there are 3 silver screws with Phillips heads in the middle of the screws. These are holding the window regulator to the door panel. Go ahead and remove those 3 screws. Go ahead and flip over the window regulator bracket. Once you have that removed, there are 3 Phillips head screws that hold the motor to the regulator. Go ahead and remove those. Be sure to keep a rag nearby because these things are really greasy and the grease can get everywhere. Once you get that motor out, we are now going to use a 3/8 drive extension to move the window regulator all the way to the up position. Make sure it moves freely. If there's any binding, you want to replace the regulator. Otherwise, it can cause your motor to go out. Now we can go ahead and install our window motor. Go ahead and install the 3 Phillips head screws back into the motor. All right, let's go ahead and install the 3 screws back onto the window regulator. All right, now once we line this up, there are some dowels in the window regulator bracket, so you will have to line those up. Go ahead and slide the bottom in first, and then you can put the top side in. Once you have those dowels in place, it should pop into place. And now go ahead and install the black screws that we removed before. Alright, once you have all the bolts tightened down for the window regulator bracket, go ahead and place the grommet and connector in position. Connect those up. And now that we have the window regulator in the up position, we are now going to have to remove these 3 access covers for the glass. Now we are going to install the glass. You're going to put the front of the glass in first, trying to get it aligned up with the window track itself. It can be a little tricky, so just be patient. Make sure you line it up, otherwise you will get water inside. Alright, now that the glass is sitting on the window regulator, we are going to go ahead and find our bolts and put those in. They are the 3 bolts with the big washers attached to them. They stand out, and I am going to reiterate using a magnetic socket, because if you do drop one of these bolts, you're going to have to remove everything to get it out. Alright, go ahead and snug up the 3 bolts for the glass. Now we are going to place the access panel covers back on. There are different sizes here, as you can see. Now before I put the door panel back on, I do like to hook up the window switch to verify the motor works. Go ahead and put the key in the ignition and turn it to the on position. And now go ahead and test your window motor, see if it works. We got down. And we got up. Now we know that the window motor works properly. We are going to put everything back together. Go ahead and get your door panel ready to put on. Throw the harness through for the window switch. Now to install the cables for the door lock and door latch. Alright, now we're going to install the door panel. Make sure you put the top in first, and then you can tap the rest of the door panel to get it seated properly. Alright, go ahead and grab your 3 screws that mount the door panel to the door. Alright, now time to install the 2 bolts that go behind the window switch. And we're going to install the one behind the door handle. Now we're going to install the window switch. Once you have everything installed, we're going to make sure that the window works properly, and we are going to initialize it. With the window all the way in the down position, now pull the switch up to close the window fully. Once the window is closed, continue holding the switch in the up position for 3 seconds or more.